Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay. This week, we're talking about IEPs, accommodations, modification, alternate assessments, and disability categories. All right. Is everyone familiar with the 13 IDEA categories?
Yeah.
Educational Act. Has everyone taken 260 by chance?
No.
No? Okay, so actually a cool thing is that you learn literally 250 and 260. Take those together and you'll literally learn all this. It's super cool.
I'm in 250
Yeah, that's
right
what
now.
I did.
Yeah. They overlap a lot. So what, Sammy, or whoever said they were taking it, who said that? 250?
I am.
Yeah.
And Roxy too.
You guys are gonna
Oh
use
wait,
a lot of
Sammy, is that our special? Is that the exceptionality?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I'm in it.
Yeah. A lot of it overlaps. You're gonna learn a lot of this stuff. It's cool.
Oh yeah, okay. When I was reading it like totally reminded me of that class.
Yeah, because each week you have like a chapter, and it's all of these. It's super cool. I loved that class. Well, I loved what I learned. I learned a lot. Was there any that you guys didn't know were on there by chance?
Well, like I guess the subcategory of like learning disabilities, because there's like a lot of different things, like the dyscalculia or whatever.
That's what I didn't know that.
I had never heard of that.
What? I had heard of like dysgraphia and dyslexia, but I didn't know anything about the math.
Yeah. I wrote that down and I was like, put a question by it because I was like, what is, like, I didn't know. I had never heard of it.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, a lot of these like I've heard of, but I don't like some of them I don't know a lot about.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's the way of putting it.
I thought like we learned about, you hear dyslexia all the time, but like in 250 and 260, we never went into detail about that stuff. So that was interesting for me to learn like the different subcategories within it.
Yeah.
The learning disability. That was cool.
Yeah. I feel like dysgraphia doesn't really get like talked about that much.
No.
Because I've only like heard about it. I've never really been like taught about it or nothing until like now, obviously. But.
Yeah. Well, I think so I have a friend who she worked out at a tiny school district here in my area, and she worked with a kid that was in a wheelchair, and he couldn't he could speak, but he couldn't write or type. He couldn't have control of his hands. So she would just have him tell her a story, and then she would write it down for him. So I mean, that doesn't really have anything to do with dysgraphia because it was another disability, but I think thinking about that and kind of connecting it and finding different ways to help express with that dysgraphia.
Yeah.
There's in my field experience, there's this one kid, he has really bad dyslexia, and so they have to do these reading tests. So I will read him the book, but he's really good at answering the questions to the test and everything. So he understands everything really well. He just has a trouble reading it. It kind of sucks.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's so weird.
He can comprehend everything at the end?
Yeah, he comprehends everything perfectly. I know I've never seen anything like it, but yeah, I was really surprised. Even chapter books, I'll read it and it'll take a long time and he'll still remember everything. It's crazy.
Wow, that's really interesting to think
about.
I was observing in one of my classes. It's for my 440 class. I had to go to a classroom and observe. And I walked into a second grade classroom and she was reading the Tales of Despereaux, that mouse book.
Yeah.
And she was reading them all, and she would turn the page and tell them what page they were on. And then as she was reading, she was like, oh, hey, we learned this word in a previous chapter. What page did we learn it on? And the students didn't take notes or anything, but they all knew the page that they remember hearing it.
Really? See, I have a problem with that. I get everything confused.
I can't. If I listen for too long, I get sleepy. When somebody reads me a book, I get tired. I can't.
Yeah.
Was it at Sage, Shay? Shay. Jay.
Can you hear me?
Jay.
Yes.
Oh, was it at Sage?
No, it was at Answer Charter School.
Huh.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's crazy, dude.
It's crazy.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I'm not good with that.
No.
Wait, Lizzie, what grade are you doing for 3 4?
Friggin' kindergarten, they're crazy.
Oh, cute.
Oh, so
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
They're whack, man. The school has lice too, so like a bunch
Oh,
Oh,
of kindergartners have
no!
lice.
say the word.
I'm serious. I was like, I left there on Wednesday, and I'm like holding my hair because it's really long, and I'm like, I've had it before when I was in middle school. It is like the worst thing ever. So I think I have
I had it
PTSD.
too.
I'm pretty sure I have PTSD from it. I'm
Ugh.
just kidding.
My head is starting to itch now. Just thinking
Oh
about
my
it.
god.
I know.
I
Let's
hate
talk
it.
about something else.
Okay, well, anyways, yeah, the second graders, I mean, the kindergartners are freaking crazy. I love them, but they're crazy.
Yeah, I like my kids too. Awesome.
Okay, so what is the difference between an accommodation and a modification?
Well, an accommodation, you're not changing the standard. You're just kind of helping them get there
Helping
in a different way, yeah, than the
Understand it
other
better,
kids.
yeah.
And then a modification is changing the standard.
Yeah. You're
The
making
example I wrote down was like test taking. So an
Mhm.
accommodation, they would like give a student more time.
Yep.
And then for a modification, they would literally change the test that they were
Yep.
taking.
Alternate assessment, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the easiest way to remember it is like when you
Yeah.
modify a test, you think about changing it, and accommodation is just helping them out.
Yep.
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a test is like a perfect example of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then is assistive technology considered an accommodation, modification, both, or neither?
I think like a accommodation. Well, it could be both.
I would say both.
Yeah,
It could-
to a degree.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
It really just depends on what it is, I'd say.
And their needs, like the child's
Yeah.
needs. It's like, does it need to be an accommodation or a modification? But most
Yeah.
often, I feel like we see an accommodation rather than a modification. We try, I remember learning in 250 that teachers try extremely hard to make make accommodations before they make modifications.
Yeah.
I remember learning that and like how important it was to try to help them first before changing the standards for that child. I remember that was a big takeaway.
So question, I'm thinking about this. If you have somebody that doesn't have like their legs don't work and they're in a wheelchair, their wheelchair would be an assistive technology.
Yeah.
Would that be considered an accommodation or a modification? Because wouldn't the standard be walking, but then a standard is also just moving forward, so just the transportation is moving, so it would be more of an accommodation than a modification?
I would probably say an accommodation.
I think accommodation too,
Yeah.
because they're still like doing the same thing,
Yeah.
but just a different way.
I was thinking about different things, so. Okay.
Sammy going outside the box here, guys. Is there any other questions? Did we talk about those? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, are we moving on to the assistive technology?
Yeah. Sammy, you want to go first?
For sure. So I looked at a ton of different ones because I love assistive technology because there's so many different things. But I found a website and it was mostly there was a lot of like visual assistive technology. There was a Braille watch, which I thought was super cool.
What?
You know,
Oh, Braille watch. That is cool.
How new is that?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't look, but
How does it
so
work?
yeah, it's a normal watch and it just has you just follow like the hand and stuff and you can feel like what time it is based off of like it's really cool. I love it.
It's really cool. How expensive is that? That
I think it was like $400. That's the problem with assistive technology is it's super expensive.
Yeah, I was looking at wheelchairs and they were like $5,000 for like
Oh my gosh.
for
Guys,
like the athletic ones. I was like, oh my gosh.
when
I
I go to a camp over summer, and most it's called like MDA, and a lot of the kids are in wheelchairs because most of them are gonna pass, so they're starting to lose a lot of their muscle memory and things like that. And one of the biggest concerns when we do activities is their chair, because some of the kids' chairs there do everything for that kid. And I remember someone telling me that their chair was like $10,000 to $15,000.
oh my god.
That is
Gosh.
insane. That is insane.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
my god.
it's sad because like a lot of people that need stuff like that can't afford it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, it makes
Do you
me
think like I don't know. Like I just don't know how people can afford that.
Well, so I'm a caregiver for a boy with disabilities, and he's essentially just like a giant baby is the best way to describe him to people. And the way that his family pays for assistive technology and stuff like that to maneuver him in wheelchairs and stuff is they go through an agency, and that agency goes through Medicaid, and then they determine how much Medicaid can give to the family. And so that's one way to do it.
I know that the camp I go to, they fundraise a lot because there's like 50 kids, and they help raise a lot of the money and then donate it to the kids.
Yeah, that's another way.
Yeah.
So just like getting associated with groups that are going through similar things really help too.
And also like
application.
Yeah.
I know like churches save up a lot of money and like get money and stuff.
Churches are good too.
Oh, it's so crazy though to think that things cost that much. It's like
it makes me feel bad for like some families that aren't like fortunate or don't know like places
how to do it.
Yeah, like in I don't know, inner cities, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, not even in inner cities, but like in foreign countries where they don't. Like I've seen people like they makeshift like a board with some wheels on it, and that's how they shoot around the town without the use of their legs, and it's like.
I know.
And a lot of places aren't like wheelchair accessible in other places either.
Yeah.
Like that's something that the United States is really good about, but a lot of other countries, like some of those places and doorways and stuff are so small.
Yeah.
There's no ramps or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we've come a long way making most like grocery stores like accessible for everyone. And, yeah.
Like even like simple things like the automatic doors. I mean, I know that's for like other people's like just convenience, but like that really helps too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The show Extreme Home Makeover.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
They had so much like neat assistive technology in that show.
Yeah, they do.
I love that show. It's like my favorite show ever. I could watch it forever.
What show is it?
Is awesome.
Extreme Makeover.
Oh, yeah, I like that show.
Ooh.
I didn't hear it the first like 3 times.
That's funny. Okay,
all right.
So you did the Braille Watch.
Braille Watch.
Totally trailed off.
It's good. We have good conversations.
True.
So the next one that I found was a handheld electronic magnifier.
Dang.
Whoa.
You would attach it to like your smartphone or a tablet or something, and you would put it over the words, and then it would come up really big on the tablet. And there's some that you wouldn't have to have a tablet or anything. It just makes the print larger so that if you have like vision, hard time with your vision, then you can read small print. So I thought that was pretty cool and applicable.
Yeah.
And then the last one I did a lot of stuff with sight. Is called a light aid, and so it looks kind of like a light bright, those things from the 90s.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, so it looks like that, but without the pegs. It's just like a light board.
Oh, okay.
And there's different games that you can play on it. It has the ability to do like numbers with blocks, so you can change the blocks and the numbers. So you would have like 3 blocks, and then they would have to determine which number matches that. And so it's like a big button that they just push, and there's different games that you can do. There's one where it just lights the board up from left to right to help with that reading ability. So like getting them used to going from left to right with reading. There's a bunch of different games that you could play with it. And then the light helps kids with vision impairments and disabilities to be able to see it better. So if they have a hard time looking at just a black or piece of paper, then it's on this light board so that they can see it better.
Why'd you do a bunch of vision stuff? Just out of curiosity.
I just found this site and just went crazy with it. But I worked with a few students that had a hard time with
vision.
With vision, they had a hard time seeing, and so I just am always really interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I was just curious if there was a reason, or if you were just like, oh, whoa.
Well, it was mostly the first one I stumbled across it, and then I was like, well, this would be really helpful if I have a kid again.
Yeah.
That has a vision impairment. So
that's awesome.
I know that I tried to like get things that I've never heard of, and I've never most of it, all of ours I've never heard of. Like my first one was electronic sheets, and I've never heard of that before. But it's like for kids with learning disabilities, like in particular kids with dyslexia, and it helps them like complete assignments. And the worksheets help line up equations and numbers on their assignments, and then they can use like text to speech and speech synthesis. And I just thought that was so cool, like being able to like talk into something and it writes your notes, you know, kind of like your phone does. And you know, that's like a good resource to have.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the other one that I did, the second one I did, sorry, was the Phonetics spelling software. I thought this one was really freaking awesome because I'm learning about it in 340, about phonics and like phonemes and all that cool stuff that I never learned about when I was a kid.
So, I know. I was thinking about that too. I don't really remember.
I know. So I thought this was cool because I'm currently struggling with it because I feel like I have to like basically like block out everything I know about English and like think about the smallest things you don't normally think about when you already know it all, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought this was cool, and it was like for kids with it said like for learning disabilities with reading and writing, obviously, and it helps. It said that the software is designed to automatically convert the students' reading and writing, and it types it into the word that they're intended to write. So it helps them get into the pattern of the family, like the word families, and how like which sounds make what. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it helps with like it's like an alternative reading for students, and it helps check for like can help students check out audiobooks too. So I just thought that was really awesome that it could help students that are struggling with that, because I think that it would even be helpful towards me. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the last one that I did was a variable speed recorder. I just kind of thought this was cool because it made me think of the flipped classroom. And it's basically like you just record, you know, the lecture, and then the student can like go and pause it or speed it up or whatever they need to do if like the lecture's moving too quickly. Or if they just like can't get it all, you know, they can't focus for long enough. So it kind of made me think of the flipped classroom and just an alternative for not necessarily having to do like a whole flipped classroom, but just like have the option of recording it, and some students could go back and listen to it, kind of like they do in college courses. So I just thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So for my first one, I chose the adaptive switches, and so they're basically just like, well, they all look, there's a bunch of ones that like look different. I'm sure you guys have seen like at least something, but like they're either like a big button and they could like use them like big buttons or like little buttons or anything, and they use them with like toys, games. They can even like do their schoolwork on them, and it like connects to like computer software. So instead of like typing or like using the mouse. And so it's obviously for kids with like limited motor skills. And it just really makes a difference. And like I remember when I was in high school, I did like the peer tutoring and stuff, and like a lot of the kids actually had those. And like at the time I didn't really know what it was. And so it like reading that like totally made sense to me. And there are things for like communication devices. So like they can, if they like can't speak or something, they could like press a button and it will like say the words for them, like quite literally. And because they could like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how like the actual button works, because I guess I haven't really used it. But from like,
making some assumptions
like,
about it.
yeah, because when I'm reading about it, I'm like, I feel like it's something I have to try. But anyway, and so it's also like environmental controls, and it could also be like, I thought this was cool. It could be hooked up to like someone's cell phone because they have like Wi-Fi or something. And so like say like the teacher can like connect it to like a software on her phone, and like he could like respond, like they can respond to something she's asking them. Like it's kind of general, but I thought that was cool. And so then my next one was the lightweight high performance wheelchairs. And so obviously these are for children, like students with like obviously physical disabilities and like paralyzing and stuff. And so they make like specific ones for different sports. Like there's ones for tennis, basketball, racing, and also cycling. And like I looked them all up, and they're all really different. Like you think like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I feel like kind of a jerk like saying like, oh, they're all the same, but like you would think that they wouldn't be different. I don't know. I just think that's super interesting. But like I said, they're really expensive, like $5,000 to $10,000.
Oh my goodness.
And like, yeah, it's crazy. And so, yeah. And so I think it's great because it can like help them and be involved in like a physical activity. And like, I don't know, it just really is great.
Yeah.
And
I have that was in high school. Well, he's not in high school anymore. We graduated together. And he could walk, but I don't know what his disability was, but he had a hard time walking and he couldn't do sports. So the school, I think it was the school that we did a fundraiser and we got him a wheelchair, and he did track. And
oh, wow.
And it really boosted his self-esteem, like, because I mean he was a fit guy, like he did a lot of like upper body workout.
Yeah,
but you know, you still feel different. You're the only one, and so it really helped him get involved and make some new friends. It was really cool.
That is
so
cool.
They really helped.
All right, and so then I'm not done.
No.
Okay, anyway, so my last one is just the
I'm not
automatic.
done.
I was like,
I know, I was so confused. I was like, oh god. But okay, so my last one is automatic page turners, and so this is made for students with like limited upper body function, and so sorry, that's not funny. That's not funny.
I'm not done.
everybody's dying.
I know. But okay.
All right.
So this helps the reading experience be like less stressful for the student, and they don't have to like. I'm sorry. But they don't have to worry. You guys are making me laugh. Oh, okay. Yeah, and so they don't have to worry about flipping the page and it being frustrating or stressful or anything. They could just enjoy reading. Okay.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just lazy.
Okay.
When you're in bed, guys, think about
Yeah.
automatic page turners.
It's a struggle.
I would
Fantastic.
so much.
Yeah.
Or in the bathtub. I read in the bath a lot.
Oh, I do too.
So
Yeah.
that would be like the best thing ever.
Or like having some sort of, this is not important at all, but like some sort of device that hangs from the ceiling.
Yes.
On your back
Yes,
while
that's
you're
what I
reading.
was
So you
thinking.
don't drop it on your face?
Yeah, because I drop it on my face, or I'll like lay on my stomach, then my arms fall asleep.
Yeah.
Or you lay on your side and you can't read the letters anymore because your head's like.
Oh my god.
Story of my life right there, guys.
Seriously.
Welcome to college.
The struggle is real.
Well, we know
Okay.
that new assistive technology that Sammy's gonna make.
Yes. Make a fortune
Millions.
off of
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will buy it. Actually, I'll test it. So if
Same.
it breaks, it'll kill me. But
it.
I'll work on this, you guys.
okay.
Okay.
All right, Shay, go for it.
Okay. Finally. I was a little eager tonight. Sorry, guys. All right. So my first one is called the C Reader pen, and it looks like a highlighter, and it's plugged into like your iPad or your computer or some like technological device, and you like scan it like you're highlighting it, and it automatically reads what you're highlighting and scans it into a Word document.
Jeez.
And so it's just like an easier note taker type thing. And it's like to help students that can't grab a pencil or a pen. So my nephew has disabilities. He has like motor function disabilities. And he has a really hard time grabbing a pencil or a pen and like holding it for a decent amount of time. And so he has one of these and it's so freaking cool. He just like goes over it really fast and he can let it read to him, or he doesn't have to have the sound on, and it just like goes onto his little iPad in his like notes.
That's so awesome.
That's cool.
It's the coolest thing. And then I did electronic worksheets too. And yeah, just like you said, it's just help students line it up, equations and numbers, text to speech, all that good stuff. And then I did talking calculators as well. And so that's for students with dyscalculia or like a visual impairment. And so it makes it just easier for them to see like the numbers and stuff, and everything's bigger, and it reads out the numbers that you type in like your equation, and then when you hit the equal sign it reads out your answers. And it can even like explain it if you like buy the super expensive one. If you don't understand an equation, it can like explain how it got the answer and like can go through it with you type thing. And that just has like bigger screen and bigger buttons for easier like readability and stuff like that. So
That's
yeah.
cool.
Sweet.
That's
that's
cool.
all I've got.
I actually saw that one too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Summary?
Yeah.
Summaries.
Sammy.
So all of these assistive technologies are super cool. We don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so learning about it from you guys and doing some extra research, because I found like 1,000 more that I didn't share, because once I started looking, I couldn't stop. And so it's like addicting. You're like, oh my gosh, maybe I'll have a student that will need this one day and I can help them and I'll know about it. It's exciting because we're nerds. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I also like this kind of like our group dynamic. Like we go off on these tangents that don't necessarily seem important, but like we're questioning things and we're trying to figure things out. And because we have a good relationship, that really helps. And it makes us more willing to ask questions, because like my wheelchair question, like I knew it might have been stupid, but I had to say it anyway. And yeah. And so I think that this really helps with that your coworker perspective. That you're gonna have coworkers with you that you're gonna get along with. You're gonna bounce ideas off each other, and somebody's gonna know something better and explain it. If you don't understand it, you have strength. So I don't know. It's always fun. I like hanging out with you guys over Google.
I couldn't agree more. Hold on. I'm gonna turn off my mic first. Maybe, I'm just kidding. I can't. All right. Well, anyways, why is it like echoing? Is mine the only one echoing?
Yeah, why is
Mine's doing it too.
Hold on. What the? Is it better? No.
No.
Well, whatever. I don't know how to feel. Okay. So anyways, I couldn't agree more. I also, like we stated before, I didn't know what dyscalculia was.
Yeah.
That was
I
a
can't say it.
and then I also like learning about the assistive technology too. The Braille watch was probably my favorite. I thought that was so cool. It's so awesome.
Right? Super cool.
And I kind of just liked how you stated that you're gonna always have to bounce ideas off people. That's gonna be our job, is to communicate with everyone and our students, so it's good to know what assistive technologies there are. So I think that's really something to be aware of.
All right. Okay. So I just think it's so cool how between the four of us, when we all had to find like 3 assistive technologies, none of us really overlap that much, and that just like shows like how many there actually are. And like I didn't really know that there are so many before like this lesson, and I don't know, I think it really benefit me in the future, and so I thought that was cool. And yeah, I thought all of the technologies were really unique, and like I feel like I wouldn't really think of it, and so I'm glad someone else did. And and I also think it's really important to know the difference between accommodations and modifications, mainly because like you need to know what your future students need, and so I think just knowing like the difference will help you choose what each student needs. So I thought that was cool.
So I thought it was pretty cool how most, like, we all were pretty familiar with the 13 categories. And the dyscalculator one, I can't say it right.
I know.
But I think that one was cool to all of us. It was pretty new for us. And then the difference between dysgraphia and dyslexia was new to me too, so I really liked that this kind of cleared that up. And obviously all of our assistive technology was really cool. The Braille watch, like Lindsay said, is probably my favorite. And then all the different types of wheelchairs are pretty cool too, because you kind of just assume that they're like one kind, and so hearing how many different ones that there are out there was pretty cool. So,
yeah. I forgot to say that like I liked how we talked about how expensive assistive technology is. It's not like something like this. It takes a lot to get those things in place for students. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's end it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.